Lovely. Any questions, any queries, any concerns? Anything I can help anyone else with? No? Okay, right, I'll fuck off then. But you've been so lovely. Do you know what? I'd like to slag off the Black Country before I go. Anyone in from the Black Country? Which part? Where are you from? Wolverhampton, all right. How are you, Bev? That's how they talk. If you don't know the Black Country, they talk like that. I got now neck and now future. I love it. Have you travelled from Wolverhampton? I live in London now. I love it. I really find it pleasing to hear the accent. Have you been to the IKEA in Wednesbury?
I have.
You have?
I've never purchased anything.
Right, why?
Because it's too stressful when you get to the checkout.
It is stressful when you get to the checkout, I agree, yeah. Well, it's stressful in that one because it's full of people from the Black Country and they're all mad heads. Listen, I was in the kitchen area when I went round and there was a family walking round and the dad of the family said this very loudly because I wasn't that nearby and I heard it very clearly. He went, "Look at that chopping board. I couldn't chop me cock on that." Is that a requirement of a chopping board that I've missed? Bless you. Well, thanks for coming along. This is the thing, I slag off the Black Country loads. It's because I love it, and I've got loads of friends there, I spend a lot of time there. I went on a speed awareness course in the Black Country. Have people been on speed awareness courses? Yes, some other bad boys. I thought it was really effective, but my favourite thing about it is this woman at the back who just did not give a shit. She's like my new spirit animal, she's just there like, "Oh, Rog." And the guy came out, and he was proper patronising. He was like, guys, just shout out reasons. Why do we speed? Why do we speed? Why do we speed? And she went, "'Cause I'm in a rush." Good, you're in a rush, great. Why do we rush? 'Cause I need a piece. Realised very quickly he did not want to be talking to her. He was trying to get anyone else to chip in. At one point, he forced this quite meek guy at the front to chip in. It was really sweet. He said, "You've got two options. Have you got two options? You can go by the speed limit, or you can go to jail. Do you want to go to jail?" He hadn't been listening. He just went, "Yes." "Any reasons why it's justifiable to speed, why we might be okay to speed?" She went, "Well, if there's an emergency, if you've got to take someone to hospital." He went, "No, that's not a reason, is it? It's not a reason. You've still got to be safe, haven't you? Still got to be safe. If you hit someone on the way to hospital, that's two people going to hospital, isn't it?" She went, "That's lucky, I'm going that way, give him a lift." That's lovely, that is. Favourite thing she said, I'll leave you on this. It was terrible, it was brilliant. He said at the end of the session, he's like, "Any other reasons why we speed that we've not covered? Any other reasons?" No one chipping in, I wasn't chipping in. In the end, she just went, "Well, because it's fun." And he went, yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun to speed, isn't it? It's fun to speed. Do you know when it's not fun? When you kill a child. Everyone went quiet, and then she just went, "Depends on the child." Love her. You've been amazing. Wow. Thanks so much. See you again. Ta-ra. I have been working on something for the last 4 years, and it's my favourite thing I've done with my entire life. And I did it entirely in secret, couldn't tell anyone about it, but now it's done, and you're here, and I can tell you. And it started with this badge that was sent to me by the comedian Josie Long, who's so brilliant, she's one of my favourites. And she runs, yes, she's so wonderful, I recommend her. And she runs a charity called Arts Emergency, which helps people get into the arts that might not otherwise have access. And this is a promotional badge for that charity, which reads, "Sometimes, if you want something to exist, you have to make it yourself." And I thought that was such a beautiful sentiment. And I immediately got to work on a life-size model of Zac Efron. Don't get me wrong, I love fucking pussy, but Zac Efron is Mummy's absolute favourite. But I love this sentiment. I was like, what do I want to exist that doesn't already? And I live in an area of Birmingham called King's Heath. Are the people in from King's Heath? Anyone in? Hello. If you don't know Birmingham, it's South Birmingham, and it's a nice area, and I live in a mid-terrace house, and it's got like a thin garden, and it was really overgrown, and I was like, I'd love a nice garden, and I became obsessed with gardening. I've got all the gadgetry. I've got a hot bin, which is a compost bin, which is insulated, so you get compost out much quicker. First time I emptied it, I was just so amazed at how completely unfuckable I've become. One of my neighbours is a teacher, and she said, someone at work said, "What's it like living next to Joe Lycett?" And she said, "It's like living next to an elderly woman." It's so accurate. I'm in the garden the whole time. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I love my gardening. I'm always posting about it. And it's always sort of needlessly offensive posts, just this sort of thing. I just call them all slags, big titted slags. This is a squash, looks like an upside-down chode with a baggy foreskin. I know what that looks like because I've met your dad. Just needlessly offensive posts. And as a result of these posts, I was asked to do an interview with Gardener's World magazine. The most gentle Middle England publication you could ever hope to find. And I did this lovely interview with them, and they said afterwards, they said, oh, we need a high-resolution picture of you in the garden for the magazine. And I said, well, I don't have one. And they said, can you get one? I was like, it's locked down, I live on my own. But I got this camera, and I set it up on a little timer, and I got this picture, which I think is quite sweet, really. It's quite, I know, bless, I know, it's lovely. And they said, oh, it's lovely. Who took the photo? For a laugh, I said it was Lisa Scott-Lee from Steps. I don't know why I chose Lisa Scott-Lee. I'm sat on some steps, maybe it was subconscious, I don't know. Magazine comes out, they printed her in the magazine. She lives in Dubai. And now, whenever she posts to Instagram, this is her saying Steps got to #1 in the charts, she credited me as the photographer. But ever so busy. Ever so busy.
I have been trying to solve the problem of ISIS. Don't worry, not the porn star, the terrorist. Any members of ISIS in? Or? I was thinking, why would you join ISIS? I was trying to work out why you join them. I think the people that join ISIS feel like there's a lack of love in their lives. I don't think you can join ISIS if you feel loved. And I was thinking, where is there an abundance of love? And I realised it's Grindr. So I've signed up to Grindr, posting as an ISIS militant. Go with me. If you don't know what it is, it's a gay dating app. That's what it is. Oh, bloody hell, you know about it, don't you? It's not dating, really, either. It's just a fuckfest, really. But first conversation was with Craig. He said, lol, are you ISIS? I said, yes, death to the West. He said, OMG, I know a drag act called Alexandra Burke. You'd love her. Alexandra Burke? I'd go and see that. But I was in character as an ISIS militant, so it doesn't sound very good. I said, yeah, to be fair, it is shit. Wanna meet? So success, somebody willing to love someone from ISIS. Next one was James. I was pleased with this. James put, wanna blow? I said, what building? He said, okay. Tell me more about yourself. I said, I serve the Islamic State. He said, I serve in Wagamamas. And then I didn't reply for a bit because I was a bit busy. So then he sent me another message. He said, tell me, if you could do anything, what would you want to do to me? So I said, I would destroy you and your civilization. He said, that's hot. Where shall we meet? I said, in hell. I said, is that a nightclub? It probably is somewhere. Final one. Oh, Barry, bless Barry. He put ASL, which means age, sex, location, if you're not familiar. I said, 18, male, Syria. He said, Syria, question mark. I said, yes, I'm serious. He said, haha, I'm in Milton Keynes. I said, Milton Keynes is full of whores, we're all going to hell. He put, OMG, tell me about it. Gays are so funny, so funny. Ongoing project, that one, ongoing. I did have to be weird with someone in real life recently. I went on a stag do. Oh, right. I'm trying to get that right. I think it's all in the neck. Fucking what? Like, that's as close, isn't it? It's amazing how close to vomiting that is. Is it there? That's it, close. This is a front for insecurity. I've got it. Struggle to connect with my father. I've got it.
Did a lot of gardening in lockdown. Another thing I did, which I really recommend, I did loads of this, and it's really good for anyone's mental health, and it's really simple. All you do is troll Alan Sugar. It's so simple. Alan Sugar, I'm sure you know who he is, a billionaire. He's, you what? Sorry, Lord Alan Sugar. That's the lawyers over there. It's Lord, actually, I think you'll find. Yes, Lord Wanker Alan Sugar. He's He's a billionaire, he's hosted The Apprentice, and at the start of lockdown, people were losing their jobs, their lives, it was an awful time. He posted this to Twitter. This is him next to his private jet during a global pandemic. Collected the new plane today, flew it down from Knoxville to Pompano Beach. I thought, you're not reading the room here, Alan. So I replied to this tweet and I said, drove my Ford Fiesta home base today, but you don't see me tweeting about it. Either way, I'm horny, how about you? This started an absolute flirt fest with Alan Sugar, because he replied to this. He said, but you did tweet it, you double-barrel pro. He thinks I'm a princess. That opened the floodgates to me flirting with him every morning in lockdown, sending this sort of thing. Good morning, my little Lord Sugar Puff. I mean, I did so many. I sort of lost my mind, really, but I did it because I think he's a twat. I think he's lost it. I think he's a bellend. And I think he'll die before me, but if he doesn't, I don't want him to win. And I thought about this. I was like, how do I win against Alan Sugar in death? And I solved this problem. And what I've done is I've rewritten my will. This is my actual will. This is page 2. If you look at section 6, Alan Sugar gets the Ford Fiesta. Not only that, it's filled to the brim with sugar puffs. Because he'll hate it. Swat. A lot of gardening, a lot of trolling Alan Sugar. I also did a lot of painting in lockdown. I really got into my painting. I did Grayson's Art Club, which was one of my favourite things I've been involved in. It's such a lovely programme, that, isn't it? I painted Chris Whitty. That's my painting of Chris Whitty. Saying, wash your filthy pig hands, which is, I believe, a direct quote. And it's very fortunate. This ended up in Manchester Art Gallery, and they said, they sent this email. They said, you're in the art gallery. We need to know the name of the piece, the artist's name, and the mediums. That's like the bits that go into making the painting. I've been drinking when I replied to this email. I called it the Itty Bitty Titty Chris Whitty Committee. The artist's name was Hugo Boss. That was my name at the time. It's a long story. You'll have to Google it later. It's a long story. The medium was acrylic paint. That's what I normally use. And then there were some other bits in there, like oil paint and watercolour paint and that kind of thing. And then, because I'd been drinking, I just started listing things. It was like olive oil, soil, boiled oil, olive oil, soil. I mean, really lost my mind on this one. Probably like 7 fresh piglets, a kitten's first memory. Meow went into the painting, just put some meow in there. Then I started listing actual mediums. Derek Acora, Psychic Sally. I finished it all off with loads of Alan Sugar at the finish. Loads of Alan Sugar. Got to Manchester Art Gallery, they printed the whole thing. There it is. Every last one of the bastards, including my favourite, goat's milk, ghost's milk, ghost goat's milk. Ghost goat wandering around being milked for my paintings.